Hello, everyone, and welcome to another installment of the 2021 ALTTPR main tournament. I am Homemade Beer, here to commentate on the second game of TjMaelstrom versus GFE. The series, this is the first round of bracket series where GFE took the first game where there was a fire rod on Catfish that TjMaelstrom ended up last locationing. So hopefully we'll see a closer game here, and I'm excited to see these two runners play. Just a quick reminder for anyone who is new or hasn't been watching the tournament so far, this is hard standard mode, where standard meaning they will go through the escape sequence, rescue the princess from her cell, and then make it onto the overworld. And hard mode meaning they will only find up to 14 hearts, green mail, tempered sword, no silvers, and no mirror shield. So that means we will get to see a nice silverless Ganon fight at the end of the race. Hopefully the runners will be able to find the tempered sword. If not, they will have to do Master Sword silverless Ganon, which I think is a total of 52 spins. A very, very long fight, but not too bad with a little bit of patience. And one other thing that we will see coming up is the uncle gives us a random item to start out for the escape sequence, which can be Cane of Burna. It could be either of the two canes: hammer, bow, fire rod, or bombs. So looks like we're about to get started here in a second, and let's see what the runners get. Hopefully they get lucky with a nice escape item. Oh, and also a sword is possible. All right, and we're off. And it looks like we found a bow in the first chest, so I'm curious to see what's on the uncle now. One other thing, if you do get a bow from the uncle or a fire rod, any of the items that require ammo to use, it will give you a full supply. So if it's a bow, you will get 30 arrows, or any of the magic items, you will get a full magic bar. And looks like we have a pendant on Eastern Palace and a regular crystal in the other two Light World dungeons from a map check that TJ just did. And a hammer on the uncle. So a nice pod package to start out. As soon as they get to the Dark World, we'll be able to complete that dungeon. And then one other thing that the runners will be looking for is bombs in the escape sequence in order to open the back of escape and get the items out of there, so they don't have to come back for them later once they either find a glove, or if they do not find a glove, we'll have to walk all the way through from the front door. So far, I haven't seen any items that would give a hint of if the guards are in the bomb drop pack. And both runners doing a nice manipulation there, and the room with the two green guards. If you go high enough by that rail, the guard does not see you, and you can walk right around him. So it looks like the guards are just dropping hearts, which means they will not have a bomb in the sequence. Not sure if both runners have seen that yet, but as soon as they do, I'm sure they will be ignoring the guards as much as possible for the rest of the run. The rest of the escape, rather. And they find bombs in Zelda's cell, and therefore they can just book it out of escape as fast as they can. It's always nice to find the 3 bomb pack in escape. You can use 1 to get the items out of the back, and then you have 2 going into CAC guaranteed, which lets you do most of it and hopefully find at least 1 more, bomb drop there in order to do some of the other chests in the overworld. But curious to see how these runners will start. Most likely they'll go to Kakariko after escape here. But, with that bow, they have an option of going independent and Eastern. Let's see if anyone feels like making some spicy gambles today. So very nice movement from both runners to just book it through the rooms and completely ignore all the guards. TJ getting beat up a little bit in the room with the 3 guards. But at this point, shouldn't be a problem to get out of escape safely with the loadout they have. Trying to get through the snake room and not getting the best enemy RNG there, so getting hit once real quick, but gets through easily enough. TJ using the hammer to pound those snakes into the ground. And the Key Rat did not want to cooperate with GFE. They're running up straight to the north, so had to walk up there and use the bow on it. A little bit nicer to TJ. He was able to hammer that rat to get that key. And just finding $100 in the back of escape, which is bottle vendor money. So that's nice, but nothing progression-wise. And finding the map, which guarantees there will be an item in Sanctuary chest. And GFE making it out in under 6 minutes. Very nice time. Very smooth escape from him. TJ right on his tail there, right just at 6 minutes.
So I heard they were playing Zelda over here.
Hello, hello. Phantom Ryu, how are you doing?
Well, thank you.
Whew. All right, so we had a hammer start or a bow start?
We had a hammer start. The bow was in our house.
In the middle of our street?
In the middle of our street, that's right. They did find bombs in Zelda's cell, so that was convenient.
Oh. I apologize for my tardiness. My older daughter graduates from high school tomorrow, and the in-laws surprised us. So I just barely made it in time.
Congrats. That's awesome. Great to hear.
Yes, we have full magic decanters on that tree pole. That has got to be nice here in the early stages, but hearts from the hoarder, not too big of a deal there.
Yeah, not much has happened since that hammer to this point. We do have a pendant on Eastern with that early bow is kind of, spooky.
It is spooky. Absolutely. The question is, how do you explain to the in-laws that I've got to go commentate a video game? I tell them I've got to go commentate a video game tournament that's watched by thousands of people worldwide. So that's how you explain it to them. The same way I got the army to pay for me to commentate Street Fighter, but that's a different story altogether. And this is not about me. This is about GFE and TjMaelstrom Maelstrom. I call him Mealstorm. He's a friend of mine. Don't worry about that. But at any rate, game 2 between TjMaelstrom and GFE. GFE won the first game due to catfish. TJ was not even upset about that. TJ said he would rather lose than check catfish. And there's the flute. Oh,
All
wow.
right. This is a nice cack so far.
It's a blind hut giving us the flute. So we got some mobility here in the early goings, but this does put Spectacle Rock Cave into play. It also will allow us to check the Dark World if we go up the mountain. TJ using the hammer to smash the pots.
Yeah, saves what, like half second, less than that maybe.
Yeah, it definitely is faster than picking up the pot and throwing it, though. And quick swap, makes a lot of those tiny time save things more practical because you can just switch back and forth between items. TJ not forgetting to activate the flute. I almost certainly would have.
Yeah, it's one of those things that can slip your mind if you just find it there, and then normally you don't have it in Cactus early, so you just kind of walk through and grab all the chests. But yeah, good job. Heads up on both runners.
So chat asks, what are the character sprites the runners are using? So TJ is Will from Illusion of Gaia, and I have absolutely no clue what sprite that is the GFE is losing.
That is Gino from Mario RPG. I don't know if it's Gino or Gino. I've always said Gino.
It's a Marius, it's a Gino. Not much else so far in CAC. Let's see what is in the tavern. Just 3 bombs, which honestly is a good find at this part because you need bombs. You might need a bomb here for race game. You're going to need a bomb for Mini Moldorm Cave. You're going to need a bomb for Ice Rod Cave. You'd also need a bomb for Agana this early in the seed. So finding those bombs early really does help out our runners. There is a bottle with a fairy on top of the library.
That's kind of a suspect bottle there.
Why is it suspect, homemade beer?
Well, if you get the bottle, you can check Sick Kid, but you can't get that bottle without the boots. So maybe Sick Kid's holding back on us.
It could be, and we did see just a pizza fart on the race game, another pizza fart on the desert ledge. Now, TJ, I knew this was going to happen. TJ will always check Agina early if he can. GFE is heading straight up to Eastern Palace, and neither one of our runners hitting South Shore immediately. Interesting divergence here.
Yeah, this is kind of a cool divergence you don't see every day.
Now, let's see if GFE decides to ask Sahasrahla which dungeon is the green pendant. He does not, because he does not care. What was in Agana's chest? I missed it. Oh, but
I missed it too.
We got flips and 2 big hearts. Wow.
Well, it's nice they were lucky with the money drops in the village. They both have Zora money at this point, so.
Not in logic yet because we do not have a glove, but oh wait, we do have the flips, so it wouldn't be in logic. My bad.
Yeah, I think it's either the glove or the flippers.
Yes, you are correct.
But we're not really any closer to Dark World access than we were at the start of this, so it's curious to see where are those items.
So just 10 sticks at the bottom of the pond there. TJ gonna head on into Mini Moldorm. Now, the Mini Moldorm's movement is randomized in a way, and that's not just the randomizer. So he's got either shooting him with the bow or hitting him with the hammer here, and as you see, they do 1 heart each hit early on in this game with only 4 hearts. This could be problematic, but TJ does finally get them down here.
Yeah, that's not a fun cave without like a sword or something useful to kill them with.
And nothing over here in Mini Moldorm Cave. Wow.
Yeah, nice trash cave there today.
Garbage.
Yeah, I did find a green 20, which could be Silver's or a male upgrade, I think, at this point.
Yes. Yeah, at this point it could be either one of those two.
So I'm curious, do you think we'll see progression on the mountain or in Eastern? I feel like we've checked everything else at this point. I guess Flipper's checked.
Yeah, there's Flipper's checks, but I'm betting there's going to be some progression here in Ice Rod Cave. Yep, there we go.
Called it.
All right, so now you hop up on the mountain because you've got that mirror. You can now also almost certainly beat Tower of Hera, unless the big key is in the basement. And that's exactly what TJ is going to do. Head on up there. Oh, TJ's going to go ahead and try and get the old man here. This is interesting. He's going to fire arrows here so that he knows where the pathways are. Hopefully he can avoid the pits, which shouldn't be too hard. Meanwhile, we did get a big heart on Lake Hylia Island.
Yeah, this has been a nice early game for enough route divergence here to see what we're getting here. It's fun when you get to see a race like this where the seed isn't perfectly linear.
Yeah, and those decisions just about where you go early can be huge. Got stereo checks here. We've got a piece of fart and a big 20 from the old man. And now TJ's going to head up the mountain.
Yeah, GFE has 2 more hearts. I'm wondering if I forgot where they would have been.
They were in Sahasrah's closet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was thinking that was the only other place he did. I didn't realize there was that much health there this early.
Two full hearts. So we got Bombos on top. That can be important as well. GFE is going to get his mirror here as well. I imagine he's going to be following TJ up the mountain here very shortly. I'm sure we're about to get a map check once we enter the Dark World from TJ. So, trackers, be prepared here. All right, we got green pendant at swamp, a pendant at pod, and 5 and 6 are swamp and ice. TJ staying on that map screen for a very long time, helping us out there. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, another pendant swamp seed. So curious to see how that shakes out later in the game.
This is interesting. TJ opting to skip Tower of Hera here while we see Zora area checks from GFE. So far, just a pizza fart and a big 20 on the floating island. We have another big 20. I think TJ is going to route this around. He's going to hit Paradox Cave, go back up the mountain, and then probably cross back over and finish Hera that way. I did not see what was on Zora's ledge.
Ooh, yeah, I missed that, actually. I guess we'll see if he goes back for it, if it was anything useful.
Arrows on Zora's ledge, says Siriu. Thank you, sir. All right, and ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you the purveyor extraordinaire of life lessons, King Zora himself. And today he has $5.
Wow, that's one of the absolute worst drops you could get.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. At least he didn't toss out the booger. Oh, Tej. This isn't too bad because TJ can just restart here at the mountain, but man, he has to go all the way and loop around because no hook shot. Never mind, it is pretty bad. I lied.
Yeah, that's a pretty rough place to die there. It's a long walk.
And for everyone joining us, we'd just like to remind everybody that this is a hard mode seed. And what that means by hard mode is that our runners are stuck with green mail throughout the entire game. They will not find a mail upgrade. They will also never find the silver arrows. They will never find the gold sword tempered is all they will find. And they are limited to 14 hearts. So.
Yeah, do you think he does Hera here first? No, he wants to get that Paradox Cave out of the way. Maybe find something to make Hera more quicker.
Yeah, either that or he's hoping that he finds a fire source, because if he finds a fire source, Hera is 100% completable. If he does not find a fire source, then there's a possibility that Hera is not completable. So
yeah, that's a very good point too, actually.
Because he doesn't have, both of our runners, obviously we know, can do the Hera pot glitch, but that glitch requires the hook shot, and neither one of them have it. And speaking of fire sources, was that a fire source or was that a nice rod?
Looked like the fire rod to me.
It did to me too. So for the folks in the chat, yeah, there it is. It's the laser stick. Our view, the view that we as the commentators have, little lower quality than what y'all have, but we also have a glove and a moon pearl. There is Dark World access for TjMaelstrom at right under 19 minutes.
Yeah, Paradox coming in with the goods today.
TJ failing the easiest bomb jump in the game. Sorry, TJ. And question from the chat, am I telling you that Bombos is not a fire source? Yes, I am. And the reason why I'm saying that Bombos is not a fire source is because, unlike what I believe it should do, it does not, unfortunately, light any torches. So. While GFE is climbing Tower of Hera. It's true, though. It does light, Bombos does light enemies on fire. That is very true. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we would ask for your patience here. As
looks like TJ pulling the big key out of the front chest in Hera, so not able to use the fire source in it. And it sounds like there is an item in the basement as well, so TJ will be able to pick that up if he chooses to do so. Oh, never mind. I think we found one item, so it depends on if there's an item on Trolldorm himself.
Indeed. And this could be significant here, because if you note, if Trolldorm does not drop an item here, let's see what happens. All right, Trolldorm did not drop an item, and what that means is that TJ will be able to get that item. GFE will not. So there is a possibility here that GFE may orphan an item, and it could be progression. We'll find out once TJ takes care of this. TJ getting himself some hearts here. Don't blame him.
Yeah, this could be interesting. If GFE finds the fire out here, but we'll also find Dark World access, has a lot of options open to him, and we'll have to make that choice to go all the way back to Hera to find an item in there. If he wants to go, choose to do so. Otherwise, we'll be gambling that it's nothing useful and can just start moving on.
TJ wise there. We'll find out here soon how wise for ensuring that he took care of Paradox Cave before going into Tower of Hera. I must confess, I likely would have just gone into Tower of Hera.
Yeah, I think either play really makes sense. I think what you called out is really important, to not know if you can complete it without a fire source. Is important, and TJ finding that guarantees that he can.
Yeah, because I think here when GFE finds his fire rod in Paradox Cave, I very seriously doubt he goes back into Tower of Hera this early in the game, particularly when he's about to get Dark World access. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you there. It doesn't seem like as likely of a play at this point.
TJ going down in the basement. We're probably about to see a coffee break. But hey, look, just a shout out to the chat. My loneliness is killing me. So that's all I have to say. When I'm not with you, I lose my mind. Give me a sign.
Yeah, this is a good time to shout out our runners.
One more time. All right. At any rate, yes, it is a good point to shout out our runners. Why don't you do that, homemade beer?
Yeah, I put a link in the chat. Go ahead and follow the runners if you're enjoying the race. GFV12 and TjMaelstrom. Both runners I follow and watch regularly. Great runners. Great to watch.
And let's see if this turns out to be something important. And that's gotta be Kane! That's gotta be Kane! I think that was a little important.
Yeah, it's only useful for a couple dungeons, potentially a big key to Ganon, makes Ice Palace faster. It's one of those checks that you don't want to skip. GFE finding the other red bendy item.
Nice chest turns here from GFE. And yeah, so that hype cave, not too hype, or as TJ is about to enter it, we will refer to it by his chosen nom de guerre, which is Johnny Two Bombs Speakeasy.
Yeah, just throw 2 bombs, secret handshake from the back in order to enter.
Yep, there we go. You got it. Johnny knows. Johnny Two Bombs. You're in with Johnny Two Bombs like the rest of us.
That's like my favorite name for item caves in this game.
Agreed. That is a TjMaelstrom original. Alright, so our runner's splitting up yet again. GFE is going to check K45 here, while TJ goes north to Pod and likely the Pyramid. No way on God's green earth TJ checks Catfish.
Yeah. It's the way he did too. He did skip the flipper checks earlier. Oh, he doesn't have flippers, so he can do Saha when he goes into Pod as well and grab his flippers along the way. So he'll be orphaning those flipper checks until later, which is fine.
Yeah, they did not turn out to be anything. Big scam by the purveyor extraordinaire of life lessons, as we saw earlier. We just got bombs on the Pyramid. TJ's actually going to get those because you need... TJ, what was that about, sir?
Maybe fluting to the Pod portal? I would guess.
Yeah, nice. Oh, but we've got a hook shot at Alec Baldwin's digging game.
Some big items popping up here.
Yeah, that hook shot, very important. Although there's much less of a chance that TJ orphans the hook shot than there is that GFE's gonna be hurting for that Cane of Samaria lately. And yes, it was 20-something digs for that hook shot. More digs than it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll pop.
Yeah, I feel like I've noticed in this tournament it's either 20 plus digs or like 2.
Indeed. Is GFE the mad lad? Is he going to go to Swamp? Wow, there's TJ flips and 2 hearts. I don't hate this play.
Yeah, the game's kind of hinting at it at this point.
Yeah, no, Chad asks, but do you like it? No, I don't like it, but I appreciate the chutzpah.
Yeah, they're both going to be in really long pendant dungeons, the two longest ones of the seed. So
Yeah, TJ is going to dive pod. Pod also a pendant. I do not blame him for that either. There's an S word in swamp, so my gosh, it's already paid off.
and that basically never happens where you find a sword in swamp, right?
No, that never happens.
No, at least once per seed. Never, but yeah.
I believe it was these two's last race that there were 2 swords in Swamp Palace. Or am I mixing up my races?
I remember that race, and I don't remember if it was this one. That they had Master Sword to get something, and then the rest were hiding in swamp.
So actually, I think it's kind of working out in TJ's favor right now that he did not go and get that hook shot, because TJ also will route where the seed seems to be taking him, so he might do this. He might have done the Swamp Palace dip as well. Now, one thing to note about the hard item placement is, even though the runners cannot get more than Tempered Sword, the game still places all 4 swords. So there are 4 locations in which you can find a sword. So if TJ doesn't go into swamp, if he doesn't have to go into swamp, it's still possible for him to get Tempered Sword.
Yeah, hopefully that if he doesn't end up needing to, like you said, there aren't more than just the single sword that we just saw.
Very nice bomb setup for Diver down there for GFE. Not finding any progression so far, but finding a large heart. And there is a book for TJ as well as a shield. So far, it's looking like Pod is the better play than Swamp, although GFE did in fact skip left side Swamp. So
yeah, I think I saw at least a map in swamp at this point, but it's interesting too. That'll make Skullwoods Thieves Town an easy play for GFE after this with that sword.
yes, and that is what that is a significant advantage that GFE has right now, besides the hook shot, obviously, is that sword absolutely required for those dungeons that you mentioned. What did TJ just pull in that chest? Was that a shovel?
That was a shovel, yeah.
I can dig it.
Yeah, I can dig it. So no Fabled Lamp and Dark U Room pod today.
No. Although that is possible with the logic, because since our runners do have access to the fire rod, the lamp could be there. TJ noting that he has 3 keys, which means that there is something here in Harmless Hellway. It is the Bigama key.
Yeah, I want to say he found like 1 or 2 hearts since entering pod, or maybe there was the one like you said in Saha's, and doing this dark maze a lot easier with multiple hearts.
So far, Swamp has been a bust, although that green pendant could come in handy. TJ doing a lot of menu buffers here to set up the... Come on, Hammer Yump. Come on, Tej. You got it. So GFE... Ooh, man. Whew.
Looks like oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, just said opting to skip left side swamp and ooh. But go ahead.
You know what this looks like is happening right now, and I don't know what's going on in the runner's mind. Obviously, oh, there's the other sword.
Yep, another sword for Tej. That'll be master for GFE if GFE clears out this entire dungeon.
Yeah, as I'm watching this unfold, though, well, we're gonna get the green pendant, and GFE can make a choice to go just get all the pendants, pull the ped, and then do.
Ooh. Did you
Well then.
see that?
Okay, I am at a loss for words now. This seed got real spicy.
Very spicy. So, man, so both of our runners now have found items that the other is almost certain to orphan. We got the Canis Samaria sitting up there in the basement of Tower of Hera, and we have the ice rod on Green Pendant Swamp.
So when are these runners gonna go to Eastern? Find
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever Myers required, or what? Find the mitts maybe. What's another huge item that you could easily find late?
Mitts, boots, medallion. And there's the lamp for TJ after he's already cleared out the dark maze. Yeah, and chat pointing out, what I was thinking earlier is that with that ice rod sitting on green pendant, many times if you're playing this game and the only thing you're looking for is the ice rod, you will just go ahead and dip Turtle Rock sometimes, gambling that ice rod will be in Turtle Rock, usually on Laser Bridge. So this is man. It's tough to
You're right.
predict
Actually, the red cane locks a lot more than the ice rod.
Mm-hmm. Wow, the way this seed has turned out, and so little overlap after Kakariko. These two, they converged a little bit on Tower of Hera. They were on the mountain at the same time, but since then they've gone significantly different. There's Harry Potter coin, but wow, this seed.
Yeah, it's really hard to think of making the Swamp Palace play. Especially as the seed gets later on, you start feeling the time crunch a bit. It's still fairly early in the first half hour of the seed. You feel like I could make a gamble here and hope it pays off. But once you get an hour in and you're looking for that ice rod, it's Swamp Palace isn't the first place you check.
No, but again, there's a chance. Oh, there's the cape as well. There is a chance that once TJ finds that hook shot in Dig Game that he dips Swamp. The way TJ likes to route, he's a friend of mine, so and I know him pretty well. But the way he says he likes to route is that he will go into a dungeon when he gets all the items to enter it. So there is a chance that he routes it early. Yeah. But
yeah, it will be on the path for him too if he continues southward after Thieves Town here. But I'm not sure. Maybe finding that cape will push him up towards Skull Woods and Bumper Ledge after this. So we'll have to see. I know he doesn't like orphaning those kind of checks. So
no, he will 100% do Skull Woods. I'm actually kind of shocked that he didn't do it before Thieves Town.
Yeah, I'm wondering that too. Wondering about that rather.
I see some debate in the chat about how to pronounce the name of the village. It is Kakariko, and that I believe was spoken in Breath of the Wild.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
And there is Master Sword for GFE sitting there in the Pot of Darkness. All right, where is GFE heading off to here? Oh, he's going to check the dig spot.
Yeah, it makes sense. He did get burned by this spot in a earlier in the tournament with the ice rod being there, so I'm sure he's not looking for the ice rod there right now. And so far, it seems Thieves Town came up pretty empty. I forgot, was the Cape in there, or was that just in Village of Outcast?
The Cape was in here. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
And Ether. So
Okay.
we
so not
don't
empty.
know yet if that means anything, but it could. GFE has a date to end some worms. Going to go into Desert Palace here.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't get boots locked here. That's always kind of a risk in a seed like this.
Yeah, but it'll be short, and he has, you know, he's got the mirror and the flute. So if it's he's probably going to run and check the item on the torch, well, after he checks switch chest here, and then he can be done and out of here. Oh, there's one of two items in Desert Palace. Question in did GFE mean to do that? Did I miss did I miss the torch check?
No, he didn't check the torch for sure.
Why would you not check the torch?
Yeah, I guess it has to be one of the keys, right? Maybe he doesn't care if it's an item.
That's fair. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that's fair. Yeah, when you find what item there, yeah, that's right. It has to be either a big key or the small key. That's right.
And TJ taking down blind here for the second crystal.
Yeah, and TJ just heading straight up to Skull. No, he's going to check Bumper Cave first. Meanwhile, GFE is heading straight to Skull. We have no idea what is on the pedestal, chat. Okay, so TJ is going up to Skull.
Okay.
I keep getting the head fakes, man.
Well, it's the rule of this game. If you're on restream, whatever the comm says you're going to do, you do the opposite. So,
right. Unless the comm says something negative, in that case, it's the commentator's curse.
yeah, exactly.
Chat saying, somebody in chat says they're only satisfied if it's a ped seed. Well, we may be about to find out. I've got to believe that one of our runners will just go ahead and check the pedestal here just to see what's on it before or after they take care of the moth.
Yeah, especially both clearing out Pendant Pod at this point, and also with GFE having finished up Pendant Swamp Palace. But GFE also has a lot of hearts. You know, he's doing pretty good with 11 hearts here at this point in the seed.
Yeah, I mean the max is 13. So TJ's showing some little bit of knowledge here, knowing that you can get plenty of hearts by walking around and picking up the chest, picking up the skull pots here. Gonna go ahead and ether the Gibdos in this room. Do not blame him, and gets rewarded with a full magic decanter. Very nice. And saving that magic to have more fire rod shots because TJ only has plastic sword.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. GFP with the Master Sword, it's a much easier fight, even though I feel like it's likely these runners would end up using the hammer on this fight at this point.
Agreed. It's just yeah, the traps are going to do 1 heart of damage. The moth is, if you hit the moth will do 2 hearts of damage. TJ only sitting there with what looks like 8 to me, so...
Almost getting wall mastered, but, you know, just barely in there in time.
All right, that's 3 hits. 4, 5, 6.
Ooh, getting tinked on the spike.
Yeah. And we have a dead moth on TJ's side. Nice. There's one big heart. I believe that is the only item we have seen so far in Skullwood, so I think there's one more item left. And nicely done moth fight by GFE as well.
Yeah, very nice from both runners, taking down the moth easily.
All right, so we're getting the ped check from GFE. Chat, hold your breath for a second. And ped is dead.
Unfortunately, dead ped makes it a little bit harder for TJ to go hunt down that green pendant. So I think we're kind of hoping that he gets locked out of the game early enough to not consider, the TR play to go hunt for that ice rod. But like you said, I'm not 100% familiar as much as you are with his routing. And hopefully the hook shot drives him towards Swamp Palace.
There's a good possibility that will happen, but also, anyone who's competed in a tournament race, whether it's simply the qualifiers or whether you've been to a group or bracket stage in the tournament, when you're playing against somebody, and TJ knows how good GFE is, and when you're playing against somebody that you know is good, sometimes you will do things that you wouldn't normally do because on the off chance that they end up working for you. And that may be a decision that TJ makes, which is why he might be more inclined to just YOLO Turtle Rock without the ice rod.
Yeah, I mean, it's also one of those things that definitely shows up there enough. You play enough of this game, you've seen, probably more seeds than not where the ice rod's just in TR at some point.
The chat bringing up an interesting point. What if the mitts were in left side swamp? But we don't have to worry about that because they're not. They are right here in Skull Woods.
Oh boy, this just got really interesting. There's a lot open now. I have a feeling actually it depends. If GFE does the mountain before heading to Ice Palace, there's a chance he goes back to Hera Basement with checking it with Ether Tablet, among other things. Dark Death Mountain, all that stuff, but it's hard to say. I think pretty much everything's open at this point.
Yeah.
Except for medallions, right? We're basically in no mode except for the medallions.
Yeah, the only I think the only other check we can't do right now is mushroom and powder.
Right.
So,
and the boots. I guess we need the boots to finish this game, don't we?
Yeah, we do, because desert is boot locked. Nothing on lumberjack though, which is good for all of our runners. TJ's going to route in North Dark World route here. Is going to hit up Graveyard Ledge. Let's see. He's gonna hit up Graveyard Ledge. Is he actually going to go to Catfish?
I was just going to ask you if you thought he was or not.
I don't think so. I just don't see it. After he proclaimed to the world after the last race that he would rather lose than check Catfish. Nope, he's going back into the Dark World. Now, this would be interesting. What if the boots are sitting on Catfish, or the mushroom, or the powder that leads to something? Because really, right now, the only thing... Yeah, those are the only possible things that that could be outstanding. Is a fetch quest leading to a medallion, or a fetch quest leading to boots. Because boots and possibly a medallion is all we need.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd be super happy to find boots here. I mean, anywhere you find boots, you're super happy. But the fact that he likely would not have checked this, but ended up here anyway and said, hey, look, boots.
So, TJ making a liar out of himself, saying that he would rather lose than check Catfish. He is actually checking Catfish.
Yeah. I guess also he never checked anything on the flippers, right?
No, he did not. So he's just routing all of this in together. A couple questions from chat. Have the runners checked Zora? Yes, they have. Zora was a $5 bill.
So this is an interesting place to be. There are no bottles that we've seen one bottle on the library, but otherwise there's not really any safeties. TJ has fighter sword, no half magic. I guess he has bombos as well, but do you think he does Ice Palace after this?
Probably. TJ is not scared of Ice Palace. He's not scared of Cold Stare. So I would not be shocked if he did, other than, as you mentioned, the lack of bottles. But I would not be shocked if he dipped it here. He can Icebreaker with the Cane of Samaria, so it's a quick check. So TJ about to get scammed by the purveyor extraordinaire of life lessons right here.
Yeah, classic Zora, filled with trash.
Absolute trash. All right, so TJ is going to learn now that Desert is bootlocked. And we'll see what item is needed for Meyer, because GFE did not check this when he had the... Or did not have the mitts when he checked this earlier. It is Quack. It is the only medallion that we don't have now. So there is another... We will need to find that item. So we are not yet in any kind of no mode.
Yeah, that's one of those rules of medallions, right? That's what I keep hearing. If you have two, it's the third. If you have one, it's both.
Exactly. It's TJ about to learn that this is, in fact, bootlocked. Everybody, yeah, so I love how chat's sitting here just saying it's in left side swamp since GFE skipped it. Again, and I've probably said this way too many times, both on commentary and on my Friday night Crystal Company races, but Christos Owen, one of the creators of the randomizer, said many moons ago that he doesn't know if skipping left side swamp has ever won a race, but has certainly lost quite a few. So. GFE running through Thieves Town, which TJ has already completed. Let's see, is Quake sitting under the welcome mat, as chat said just a minute ago? And no, but we do have a sword.
It's actually nice to see give some incentive to check the tablets now as well.
Yes.
The book obviously not doing anything for us in Desert, so it's curious to see if there's a reason we were supposed to pick it up.
TJ, you don't have... Oh, no, he wasn't going to go pick up a bottle. He was just going for the health refill. Smart.
Yeah, this feels like an Ice Palace play.
Oh, without question.
It's funny, though, they both have, half of the puzzle to all the potential options for Ice Palace, with GFE having the hook shot at Big Game and TJ having the red cane, which was in Hera Basement. I think red cane's the one I'd rather have, though, if I had one of the two going into Ice.
Indeed.
So I think we're going to get some new checks on GFE's side, since TJ routed Thieves Town into Skull Woods. He got the mitts later and continued on north, whereas GFE routed Skull Woods into Thieves Town, so had the mitts before coming into Village of Outcast. Is inclined to check the smiths and other things.
Yeah, so GFE going to go ahead and pick up Jeremiah here because he has already done Alec Baldwin's digging game. TJ just going to go ahead and bombos those pen gators. Do not blame him at all. And look at that full magic
Wow.
decanter. That's pretty.
That's the dream right there.
Indeed. No, chat. This is the first Smith chain check, and that trying to say that fast would almost tripped me up, but I got it.
Yeah, I don't think I would have been able to manage, so.
Money Smiths.
Looks like they've been working overtime with that 300 drop.
Indeed. And we're going to see yet another reason why the Cane of Samaria is the best item in the game this year, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be Icebreaker. There it is, right there. Beautiful. Just a big 20 down at Hammer Pegs. TJ going to be checking the chest in. I just call this one Complicated Room.
Iced H? I don't know.
Yeah, Ice H. Yeah, that's fair too.
So what was it, the map and the compass so far on this side?
Correct. And a small key.
Okay, so the dungeon... nothing in the dungeon's hookshot locked, I think.
Yeah. Not that it would matter given Icebreaker, not that it would matter if it were, because Icebreaker, you don't even need the hookshot to make a lot of the checks. So we're really just looking now. The only two items we need for no mode are the bacon coin and the boots. There's the big key and iced tea for TjMaelstrom. That was a lot of T's in that sentence right there.
It's interesting, and they both do have different swords, right? Just want to point out to chat that GFE found a sword in the first chest of Swamp, whereas TJ found his second sword in Checkerboard Cave, and they both found a sword in Pod Big Chest.
Yes. TJ having a little bit of problem getting out of this room. The ice physics really getting to TJ there.
Yeah, not a very polite room.
Not at all. Quite rude. And TJ, have that bomb, is that going to be? Yeah, okay, you got it. Having to do it this way because he does not have the hook shot to clip through these blocks.
So this is actually really interesting. It won't end up mattering once TJ finds his ice rod to get to the end of the seed. But from his perspective, as far as he knows in this seed, this is a hover seed. He knows the boots are required. He knows Ice Palace is not hookshot locked, and he knows that Swamp is a pendant.
Right.
So he's definitely thinking like, oh crap, or maybe not. I don't know exactly how he feels about it, but he knows that there's a high possibility that this could be a hover seed.
And I can tell you for certain that TJ cannot hover, so... And there is Cheeto Sword for GFE. We knew that was going to happen. So... That cold stare fight started off looking like it was about to be a thing of beauty. TJ in some serious trouble here. Only one puff left to go. Oh, I thought he was going to get a double on the backspin there. That is a dead puff. TJ, don't give this old man a heart attack.
Job well done in the end.
All right, we're going to see some more checks that we haven't seen over here on GFE's side. It is time for Dark Death Mountain.
I feel like TJ is going to follow suit here. He's kind of orphaned the South Village of Outcast checks at this point. Even though the hookshot is in Dig Game. So he will have to get back to it eventually, but I feel like, from his perspective, the play is Dark Death Mountain, a bunch of checks up here.
Well, there's the powder. That opens up one more check. And the big question here, as Chad is rightfully pointing out, is will GFE go back into Hera basement? I just don't know if you do when you have all of these other checks available to you. Turtle Rock was that Bombos?
That was really fast. It looked like Quake to me, but I think I just want to say Quake because it's better if it's both in a dumb way. I do wonder though, because GFE did go into Hera when he had no fire source and then found one immediately after, and at the time he found it, he also found Dark World access, that it didn't make sense from his perspective to go back in, to walk all the way back there just for the one check. But now it's actually kind of convenient if he's thinking at all of like, hey, I don't want to leave anything behind. I didn't have fire the first time. Let me just pop back in and grab whatever items in the basement here.
So TJ's going to go ahead and do Pyramid Fairy here. We'll see if that leads him to that hook shot that he desperately needs.
Sounds like Chad is saying it was Bombos, by the way. So I think you're right, but I did not see it for certain.
All right, and we are checking Ether Tablet, and falling from the sky comes a big 20. Not what GFE wanted.
What a useful book, this seed.
Oh, yes, totally. GFE showing there that if you pick up a bomb and walk through a portal, you will not port. So, and there we go. GFE is going to go ahead and get his Cane of Samaria here. This is not good for TJ, but TJ finds the boots.
Oh boy.
But it's all about when TJ goes into swamp. He has to go into swamp. And I just don't see it.
So I'm actually, it's interesting. I'm starting to feel like that bottle on Lumberjack's going to lead to Quake on Sick Kid for some dumb reason. Like the fact that we haven't found any bottles yet, and that bottle's been hiding behind the boots this entire time. It feels like boots, one way or another, are going to get us that Quake medallion. And I'm just curious to see what happens next.
TJ, yeah, we questioned it a while back, and why TJ went to Thieves Town before Skull Woods, and then routing in North Dark World. That seems to be that is a huge difference maker here. But again, we still have the nagging question of where is that Quake medallion? Now, GFE looks like he is about to open up Turtle Rock. So if Quake is sitting there in Turtle Rock, you've got to think that's game.
Yeah, it will be a lot slower the way GFE is going to end up doing this without the boots, whereas TJ does have the boots, but this is kind of scary because TJ has to find the hook shot still, and the hook shots in Dig Game. It's hard to say he would ever incentivize that check with what he has left at this point, and then once finding it, has to say, oh, you know what, maybe this is needed for something because they gave it to me so early at this point, but so early in the available so early in the seed. Say, well, I might as well just go clear swamp and turn in the green pendant. Like that's kind of a tough choice to make an hour into the seed.
Agreed. And not only that, but it's highly, highly likely that TJ will go up and check Dark Death Mountain, and will likely go ahead and dip Turtle Rock, and that's going to be very, very bad.
Yeah, it is feeling that way, isn't it?
Yep. I don't know that we've seen our second item in Desert. We know that there was a big heart in the switch chest, but I think we still have one more item here.
Yeah, I think he went straight to the back, right? Or sorry, to the boss.
Indeed. Yeah, this is all going to come down to... Well, no, we'll see. TJ could decide to do Smith Chain and walk into Swamp Palace.
That's a good point.
Before going up to Dark Death Mountain, but I see that as highly unlikely.
Yeah, that's a that'd be a hell of a call to make, but yeah, I guess we'll see in a second here.
A couple of frustration slashes there from TJ.
It's not going up the mountain yet.
Not yet.
Bombo's happening?
That's kind of what I'm thinking. He has. I don't think TJ has checked Dig Spot yet. So, and with the mitts, he could check Dig Spot, K45, Dig Game, Smith Chain.
Yeah, I think this comes down to, what you had mentioned. Like, if the hook shot, makes him wonder, like, why the heck am I finding a hook shot here? I didn't need it for anything yet.
Mm-hmm.
If that gives him some pause to say, wait, should I be using this for progression?
Meanwhile, Turtle Rock is not working out at all. Would it be interesting if that bacon coin is sitting in the Eastern Palace that we've been able to complete since minute 1 of the game?
I think every dungeon would have given us something then, right? Well, I guess Pod just gave us a sword, if I remember, like in the book, but the book hasn't been anything, so I'm not counting that yet.
That's correct. All right, so TJ is about to get his hook shot, and that will be the moment of truth. Like, yeah, so far nada in Turtle Rock. TJ finally going to get his hook shot here, an hour, 4 minutes into the seed.
Yeah, I just, thought about, too, another thing the hookshot opens is Hookshot Cave. So
Yes. And that's why it's highly, highly likely that TJ will choose to go up the mountain. There is nothing in Hookshot Cave, but... TJ sticking with... Yeah, okay. I was gonna say sticking with his Smith Chain checks. There's an off chance he was just gonna keep going to Swamp, but nah.
Ooh, grabbing this bottle.
Oh,
or
close.
getting blocked.
Close. Mirror bonk. And that is our first bottle, as you were pointing out earlier, homemade beer, so... Could be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably nothing, but it is something you wonder about when the seed's hiding a bottle from you for this long. You're like, what the heck? Why is this taking so long to get a bottle?
And now we have a saying in Rando, and that is that the answer is always Laser Bridge. There's another bottle. There is another... Oh, that's a sword
That's
on
a
Sick
sword.
Kid.
Okay.
Nice.
Not
And
a total waste.
And that's got to be the wrong cane on Laser Bridge. But so Laser Bridge not working out. TJ getting that tempered sword. Very nice. And yes, all 4 swords are accounted for. It is all down to where in the world is the godforsaken Quake coin. But it's pretty much it.
I like your call of Eastern. Just to make this an all dungeons dip seed.
Yeah. Is TJ gonna get his credit the chat with the Smith counterfeiters here? All right, this is going to be important. Like you mentioned earlier, homemade beer. It's possible that this, it may have been you, it may have been the chat. I don't even remember. TJ might route in swamp after taking purple chest. Oh yeah, that's right. Wait, no, it's GFE that has the powder. I saw TJ move to the right there, and I was like, oh, he's going to check magic bat. Wait a minute, he doesn't have the powder.
Yeah, I think the powder was in Super Bunny, I want to say.
Yeah. TJ having a little bit of a problem there. Nope, TJ's going to save and quit. He's going up the mountain, which you can't. I mean, that's the play. That's what you do.
And it looks like that was the 4th crystal for GFE here.
Yes.
So no quick so far.
Nope. But we do have the check he's about to make here. Spike Cave that nobody has checked yet. TJ going into King's Tomb.
You know, another silly logic for that bottle, I just realized too, with the cape TJ has, that actually puts Spike Cave in logic for TJ, even though GFE has the blue cane now, and a bottle as well.
TJ going to check Bonk Rocks, and then his next decision could be, ooh, half magic and Spike Cave.
That's the thing.
Where TJ goes after this Bonk Rocks check could be the game for him.
You know, pretty sure left side swamp and eastern are all we have left. And interestingly enough, if it is left side swamp, you know, we might get back to a very, very tight race. Since I think, you know, how does GFE choose left side swamp over eastern in his position? Whereas, you know, when TJ has to end up in Swamp Palace, you know, might decide to do left side swamp along the way. Although I believe he is a runner that does do the back first, so we'll see.
He is. All right, this is it, TJ. 1 or 4. He's going to 1. I'm trying to be unbiased, but TJ is my friend. So,
yeah, I mean, from almost any racer's perspective, this is the right choice. When you don't have the ice rod and you're just missing, you know, and that's like, as far as you know, the only thing you're missing and potentially a medallion, you probably check TR first.
Oh yeah.
Before Green Pendant Swamp Palace, obviously.
All right, TJ's going to route in Ether Tablet here. And ladies and gentlemen, as our runners are pouring over territory the other one is covered, let us remind you that if you like what you're seeing here today, and how could you not, because these runners are putting in hard work for your entertainment, give them a follow here on Twitch. And for all of your 2021 Legend of Zelda Link to the Past Randomizer Tournament action, make sure you follow the SpeedGaming channels here. SpeedGaming OG, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Going to be bringing this action to you here live until it is completed. Well, live with a 10-minute delay, as the case may be. TJ is going to get his half magic here. And where does he go from here? Because this will be a save and quit. He's going to have to do a save and quit. Where does he
and also a quick shout out to our trackers, Saver UX. You know, always doing a good job keeping us honest, catching things we miss.
Very true. Yep. Exactly what we thought. TJ. Now here's going to be the thing. Does TJ hit? The only hope for TJ right now is not to dip Turtle Rock. But I think anybody would most anybody would go ahead and dip Turtle Rock at this point.
Yeah, that's a super tough choice to say you're not going to do that in this position.
Yeah, exactly, Vortex. Yeah, from his perspective, yeah, dipping Turtle Rock is absolutely the right play. GFE about to take care of his puffs.
Yeah, it looks like, likely in his position here, Pyramid Fairy will be the next play, grab his boots, then take care of Desert.
Yep.
And just missing that Quake after that.
Which nobody knows where Quake Coin is. Yeah, so GFE with Tempered Sword makes this fight significantly easier. Almost kept the puffs in the corner, but TJ checking the hookshot cave. We know there's nothing here. And where does TJ go now? And yep, he's going to Turtle Rock.
This has been a very rich seed. They've both done all the money checks and have like 1,600 rupees still.
They haven't been able to spend any because they haven't had any bottles.
Yeah.
So yeah, as we know, this is not going to work out for TJ. But where is that Quake coin? Nobody knows. We are going to get the magic bat check right here. This could be it, folks. And big 20. So we still do not know. It's so tense. It's so tense. TJ very frustrated here. Clearly, yeah, he doesn't know. He's thinking. He's like, "Oh God, do I gamble?" Oh, Tej. Oh, he was thinking about it. He was thinking about it. It would have been the right answer, my friend. GFE is going to get his boots here, picking up that orange bomb. TJ is going to continue to dive into Turtle Rock, and that will be his downfall. Oh, Siryu. Our tracker, Siryu, with the dad joke of the evening. TJ didn't quite have the will. Oh, dear.
So what do we actually have left? Eastern? Is that it? Is there anything we haven't seen between the two runners? And Left Side Swamp?
Left side
Is that
swamp, Eastern, and Mushroom. But, we don't know where the Mushroom is. But, yeah, but that's pretty much it. GFE likely going to go up here and check Catfish. Did GFE check Graveyard Ledge? I don't know that he did. But
Don't think so.
yeah, but it's an easy route. Oh, he's going to skip Catfish. Interesting. He's going to just check Graveyard. Of course, it's a very quick. Yeah, he's going to route in King's Tomb and Graveyard Ledge and Bonk Rocks, and may or may not come back for Catfish. But all of those checks that I just mentioned, we all know are nothing, because TJ has checked all of them. GFE says, I got almost 1,600 rupees. I do not need 20 more.
Yeah, I probably the best play for TJ, or the best. I out for TJ here is that left side swamp Quake, I think.
Agreed.
But he has to, because he's, well, okay, if he does swamp and then gets the green pennant, he doesn't know he has the ice rod yet. So that's helpful actually to him in this situation. So he says, oh, there's still an item left. I better go check. I don't want to get burned by it. That would be the only way, I think.
Yeah, agreed.
In this.
TJ's about to hit that laser bridge and come up with a big old nothing. But I don't... It's going to take something more than just that to for TJ to win at this point.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think. GFE has after this. He'll go do desert.
Yep.
Check the crap over there, and then I'm guessing he would do Eastern before going back to Swamp. I don't think we have seen Bombos from either runner still. They keep kind of... It just never shows up on their radar every time they're in the area.
I thought one of our runners already checked Bombo's tablet and it was nothing. Or maybe I'm just
You're right.
smoking crack. I could be smoking crack. I don't know. But
I feel like everyone's been close. Oh, okay. Our tracker pointing out GFE has checked Bombos. Okay.
Okay.
So that book was actually trash then. That's good to know.
Total trash. All right, so GFE is going to go ahead and hit up the scam fish here. Not... I had a thought and then I lost it. But yeah, it's looking... It's either left side swamp or Eastern at this point. Because we know the pet is dead.
I think TJ's got to go to Swamp here. There's nothing else that makes sense. That's like...
Or Eastern.
Any items. Oh, yeah. Or...
Bat.
Oh, Bat. He found the... Oh, okay, yeah.
This is also going to be right bupkis. But we know that, but TJ doesn't.
Yeah, there's kind of a discussion on whether or not it makes sense for GFE to do Eastern or Swamp after Desert, and I would say from his perspective, Eastern makes more sense because he already cleared all of Swamp except for, I think, one item on left side.
I don't think he ever checked big key chest either.
Okay. Did he find a big key in the back?
I can't remember.
Yeah, Swamp is weird like that.
Yeah,
right?
Swamp is weird like that. Yeah. All right, TJ's going into Swamp. Now the question is, as you said, does he do left side? And yeah. If he does,
I feel like, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you're good. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just think, from playing with him and stuff, like not as much as you, but whenever we've chatted about seeds, and he always does back a Swamp first, and then might go back in for another item on the left, and
Yeah, but given this is essentially, he's like last locationing stuff right now. He may opt for the full clear. Plus, he can diver down the left side. Kana Samari, so we'll see. But a very nice landmo from GFE over there. Just that laser stick.
Yep, I was about to say the same. Easy one. Was it? Is that a 1 or a 0 cycle? 0 cycle? I don't know. I never know how to count. I don't know if it's Python or C.
I would call it 0 cycle because they didn't actually cycle. So,
yeah, makes sense. Well, both runners finding all 4 swords.
Indeed. GFE is going to scour the remainder of Desert. Both of our runners still have got to do Misery Mire. Man. Weird seed.
Yeah.
Mainly,
Yeah, I guess-
mainly the way our runners each routed it differently.
Yeah, Jiffy found that hook shot very early.
Very early.
All right, is this our moment of truth?
Yeah, you got GFE's absolutely checking Eastern here. And yeah, this is our moment of truth. Let's see if TJ goes left side swamp. He does not. Or he does.
Oh boy. Does he bail if he finds Quake here? Now it gets even more scary. I don't know if you do if you're still in an ice rod hunt and then there's like 4 items in the back plus the green pendant.
Yeah, I don't think you do at that point.
I guess it depends on how behind he feels.
All right, there's 1 item in Eastern Palace, only 2 more chests that Quack medallion can be in. TJ, you have the Cane of Samaria. Just, I don't know. For me personally, it's so much easier to do the Cane of Samaria clip than the bomb clip. But all right, here we go.
Big key for GFE in Eastern.
It is left side swamp time. Oh, TJ mistimes the clip. I love that little clip, but that has happened to me too many times. Yeah, he's just going to do it the normal way now.
And a map.
Yeah. Over here on left side swamp. Is it even a time save? It is an infinitesimal time save. But yes, a time save nonetheless. There's a blue boomerang and a blue rupee.
Oh boy. This
Oh,
game
boy.
is just trying to hold the tension thicker and thicker.
Right? Not in either. So it's got to be here in Eastern. It's either here or it's on Armos. It's on Armos.
Oh, wow.
So, wow, what a weird seed.
So there's that bow payoff we found in the first 5 seconds.
Right? Absolutely. Hey, this just goes to show you too, like, neither runner made any decision that anybody would consider a bad decision. It's just GFE deciding on that early swamp palace was really the difference maker here. You know, you can make.
I mean, it was a huge gamble when he did that, when he went in there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was huge. And it's like it goes to show that you can make all the quote unquote right decisions and still lose. You know?
Yeah, definitely. I guess that's what they say, right? Rando gonna rando. That's the saying.
Indeed. There is the bacon coin. And in 1 hour, 26 minutes, 55 seconds, GFE has entered go mode. Only has 1 more dungeon to complete. That is the Miserable Mire. And honestly, when you're at this level of play, this level of competition, I think GFE thinks he's behind. 1 hour 27, and you're just now getting access to your 7th dungeon.
Yeah, I want to say that was hard last location.
Yes, it was.
Remembering to murder the murder burb there.
Yes. And so this is interesting, though. TJ is going to go check the green pendant. He's going to get his ice rod. I cannot remember. Was there an item on Trinex? And did TJ count his items on Trinex?
I was just thinking that, actually. I was wondering if there was another item on Trinex. I don't remember.
I don't either. Point is to get his ice rod here. Does he do Eastern? Yes. Well, hang on. Does he do Eastern? No, he's not. He's going to go finish Turtle Rock.
So there must be an item on Trinex.
Yeah.
Looks like GFE found a small key in the spike chest in Mire.
Oh, this is pretty academic from here on out. GFE just needs to find the big key of Mire, take out Vidi, and then head on up to GT, but... Ooh. Yet another green 20 there. Wow.
Yeah, the seed started off kind of stingy with health, but then, very quickly got up to the 14 hearts.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunate placement with that ice rod location. Even if TJ had tried to save the portal, you can't do that if the ice rod is behind Swamp Palace in any way.
Yeah, right?
What was the saying about left side swamp?
I still don't think it won this. It did not win this seed, though.
No. I just was trying to remember.
That it's skipping it has never won a race, but it certainly has lost a few. That was not this race today, however.
Yeah, correct.
Oh, that was spooky. GFE showing us the spooky action glitch, which was a big thing for a while. And then I saw a lot of rando racers just not use it, but I've seen a lot more use it this tournament.
Yeah, it's interesting when new tech kind of comes out that it slowly gets kind of adopted by larger and larger portions of the community, to where it becomes kind of standard. Like spooky is like the standard way to do Mire now, right? Kind of how like diver down is, or not diver down. Well, also diver down, but I was thinking icebreaker is like the standard way to do swamp.
Yeah. GFE just breaking out the cape strats, taking advantage of the lessened magic consumption if you're swinging your sword while you have the cape active. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there are 22 chests in Ganon's Tower in which the big key could possibly be. Get your guesses in the chat right now. We do not have the bot active to log your guesses and log who wins, but if you win, you get to say that you were right. And really, on the internet, what is better than being able to say you were right? Am I right? Of course I'm right. I'm on the internet.
Yeah, especially in front of almost 1,000 viewers.
Yes, indeed. GFE's going to go ahead and get the bottle here. Interesting. I expect. I wonder, will he go get a blue potion? Reset the clock, webmage. But okay, so GFE has a green goo. Yeah, with half magic, I found it interesting that he went to get that second bottle. But
yeah, I'm not sure about that play. Like, what made him want that? Because I know I think the other bottle's a green potion, right?
yes. Probably will find the other two bottles in GT chat. Yes, the only item that we have not found that it is possible for us to find in this seed right now is the mushroom. That's got to be in GT.
Yeah.
And so do the other 2 bottles. I think GFE. I think GFE is going to be close. Going to be in like the 180s as far as number of checks, depending on how deep Ganon's tower hides the big key.
Yeah, I guess. What hasn't he done, huh?
Right.
He's like full cleared every dungeon except Mire and Swamp, I think.
And Pod. But there wasn't an item on Helmasaur, so.
Yeah, yeah. I think what is it? Does it count as 1 check? Just the dungeon items don't count, right? Like the crystals and stuff.
I honestly do not know. My guess is always 13 for the big key, by the way. But
I always just say 1 because I like it when it's 1 for me.
the dream.
But
Right, GFE going to go left side first. We'll see if he does Dark Magician strats. There is a key. You definitely get that. Yep. Rip Bob. That was check number 1. We'll have checks 2 through 5 in here. That's 2. 3 is a bundle of sticks. 4 is another small key. 5 is one of those bottles we were missing. And yes, we will be doing Dark Magician strats here today. That's number 6. Big 20. Number 7 is the big key. That is it. It is Ganon's Tower climb time.
well, if you did Hope Room first the wrong way, it would have been 1.
Correct. So you could have been right.
Yeah, if I was running the seed, I would have done it wrong, and I would have found it first, and then.
Yeah.
Since I always do Hope Room the wrong way, according to everyone I talk to. But yeah, it's nice. GFE found some arrows in there. He saved them on Vitreous, so he didn't have to worry about running out on the climb, which is, definitely a heads-up play.
Absolutely. GFE heading up, about to begin the gauntlet as TJ heads into the dark room where he will finally find his Quake and enter go mode. You hate to see this happen. Like TJ's 2 losses here came to I don't want to say low percentage checks, but checks that most people would not have. A lot of people would not have made. The first game, it was Catfish having the fire rod. In this game, it was Green Pendant Swamp leading to the ice rod. Just ugly ways to lose for TJ.
Yeah, especially the types of checks that can end up being easily last location like that are ones that don't open very much, and it depends on where the fire rod is in the seed, but there's a chance that it's not very useful except for beating 1 or 2 dungeons and not actually opening anything else.
Yeah.
So TJ with his 7th crystal with his go mode item, about to enter Mire to go grab his 7th crystal.
TJ alluded to the wrong location.
And GFE hit with a very nice tower climb. Another 0 cycle landmos, and about to get through to the mini Helmer room and continue on through the Moldorm 2 fight.
Yeah, he will not open any more chests. He is as loaded for bear as he can get in this game. Tempered Sword. He now has a blue goo, a green goo, and a fairy in bottles, and has tempered 14 hearts. Yeah.
Yeah, what could he really want?
Right. I mean, the mushroom for the meme.
Yeah, just to have it.
Yeah, just to have the full inventory. But no. Yeah, one more blue goo. That's fair. He could want one more blue goo. And to answer the question in the chat, there are no silvers in this game. We are using hard item pool, which means max sword is tempered sword. You will not get any mail upgrades. 14 hearts are the maximum. Both of our runners have that. And no silver arrows.
Yeah, as they say in the Ganon fight, right? Start the spin cycle.
Indeed. And we are about to see that over on GFE's side as he is about to flute. And, the eternal question of why does the flute work there in the Dark World? Because you can never get it to work otherwise. However, he's about to fall into the pit and do the duel with the big pig. And that was a very nice fight with Dr. Isosceles. Aghanim 2. Nice. Gets the sword spin off of the trident. Looks like GFE will be getting a 1-1 here on Ganon. Nicely done.
Very nice 1-1.
It took me a second to figure out what the 1-1 was when people first started calling it that. That's when you go through the first 2 cycles of the Ganon fight with 1 encounter each. That's the 1-1. Easy to do with Gold Sword, not as easy to do with Tempered, but obviously can be done. GFE here getting the torch glitch. And it is the spin cycle, as you mentioned before, sir.
Yeah, at least with Tempered Sword, it's 12 total spins. I think it was number 3. It looks like setting up a triple here.
Yeah. A lot of runners like GFE make the setting up for triples in this Stage 4 Ganon fight look very easy, but it is not. The timing is a lot harder than it looks. And see, even GFE missed that first spin of this cycle. I have no idea how many spins he's on. It takes 12.
I think one more here.
Correct, sir. Very nice.
Yeah, I only count number of triples, and he only got 1 triple, so. But yeah, get your GGs in chat.
And that is it. GFE has won this race. Do we have our official racetime.gg time, sir?
Yeah, GFE has finished at a time, official time of 1:41 and 31 seconds.
A very, very cleanly played seed. I am very interested to see what his item collection rate is going to be here. I'm thinking it's got to be in the 180s. And seeing that, and on TJ's side here with the stopped in the menu, I got to believe that TJ has forfeited. Yes.
Yeah, it's officially in race time. He has forfeited, and we are joined by GFE in chat.
Yes.
GGs.
Hey, thanks for the GGs.
Wasn't that your favorite seed ever, GFE?
I mean, let's be honest. I just stopped 1 dungeon short of clowning hard enough.
So, a couple questions about that, GFE. That early swamp play, you clearly that was it. How did you make that decision?
Let's just say the hook shot kind of put me over the edge there. I'm usually a little clownish in my routing, and since I was up a match, I knew I could afford a few risks. I was tempted to dive swamp after Hive Cave, but that's a little too absurd. So when the hook shot showed up, I'm like, yeah, we're gonna do it. And then the sword felt okay, and then came the ice rod, and I was just like, well, this couldn't get much better.
So that was interesting too, because you did Tower of Hera with no fire source, and TJ instead went to Paradox Cave, found his fire rod, and then did Tower of Hera. So TJ had the Cane of Samaria very early, but when you routed back in later on and got the Cane of Samaria, that was a huge thing as well. Did you feel behind when you finally found the bacon coin?
Honestly, I don't know that I ever felt behind after the ice rod.
That's fair.
I knew
Yeah, that's
that
fair.
he would have to clown pretty hard, and even when I was on my way to Armos, the only thing I was honestly afraid of was the last item in Swamp.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I was thinking the chances of him getting Ice Rod are pretty low. Even if he found this, he ended up full clearing Mire and probably double dipping TR.
And that's exactly what happened. And we are joined by TjMaelstrom here. Oh, TJ, as I said to GFE, that was your favorite seed ever, right?
I'm not happy. I'm extremely pissed off. I put a lot of work into this tournament, and to go out like that twice in a row. Yeah, I'm not ashamed of admitting I'm pretty mad.
Yeah,
Hey, GG's TJ.
Yeah.
Rando's just gonna do that sometimes.
It screwed me at the worst possible time. What can you do?
Yeah, we were mentioning that earlier, that race one between the two of you came down to the fire rod at Catfish, and then this race came down to the ice rod on Green Pendant. And I don't know if you overheard, TJ, I don't know how long you've been in the room here, but you guys both went up to Tower of Hera and Light World Death Mountain almost at the same time. You, TJ, though, routed in Paradox Cave first, so you got the fire rod before you did Hera, so you were able to get Cane of Samaria very early. GFE did not have a fire source when he went in.
That was kind of the idea. That's why I routed. That's why I passed Tower of Hera the first time on the way up, and I took an unfortunate death over there. But I went all the way back. I was looking for either a hook shot or a fire source because I'm like, I wasn't comfortable going into Tower of Hera without either of those things, and I had a lot of stuff over on that side. When I got the fire out over there, I'm like, okay, probably gonna go ahead and do the basement here because I think that fire rod is probably telling me to go do that.
So this is what we are trying to think. So after that, because you got Dark World access on Death Mountain, after that, GFE went to Dig Game, found the hook shot, and then immediately did Swamp Palace. If you had routed it that way, TJ, would you have dropped into Swamp Palace that early?
Honestly, I probably should have went into Swamp Palace when I found the hook shot anyway. I mean, the hook shot was right there. I mean, it wasn't very late in the seed at all. I had a bunch of other stuff ahead of that hook shot, and as soon as I left the area, I'm like, I really should have gone to Swamp with this thing.
Yeah, honestly, my route, I was planning on just mirroring and then fluting up to CAC to do Village next, but the hook shot was just like, I guess I'm gonna do this. You either do it or you don't. And in this case, the seed wanted you to.
I feel like I'm a pretty good pace right up until right after Desert Palace. After that, it was just unfortunate the whole way through. After that,
Well, we're about to see here GFE's item collection rate. I think is about to pop up. Oh nope, we still got a couple more here, but I'm guessing you're probably in the 180s.
Well,
GFE.
you'll be disappointed, mainly because the GT Big Key was so early.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, there was an interesting point in the routing when you both got to Dark World. you both started at Hype Cave, but TJ went to Pod because GFE had already done Flipper stuff, and TJ had saved Saha for that early Dark World area like check. And so GFE, your first sword was in Swamp because of the way you routed left first, came back, and then TJ ended up in Pod looking for the sword and found the sword in the book, which the book turned out to be trash in this seed. But it got to the point where you both had a sword, and it's like, okay, what's next for these runners? What do we think they're going to do? And we thought it was like, go to Skull Woods and go to Thieves Town and just kind of route south and figure out what's going on next. But then I think everyone did everything a little bit differently than we were thinking. Like, I think you went to Pod next, and we were like, oh, well, just go from pendant to pendant. And I was like half joking, well, maybe, GFE clears all the pendant dungeons, blind pulls Ped, and figures out, you didn't need to. In the end, you kind of did, but...
I'll be honest, it tempted me, the way that lined up. Like, you're going to give me Bow in Link's house, and then it's going to be Pendant Pod in Eastern? Really?
Yeah.
But, speaking of which, I was half hoping Uncle was going to give me a big 20.
Yo, I was hoping the same goddamn thing.
I was thinking the same, just like,
I'm like, give me the big 20 dream right
The only
here.
thing that concerned me about that was I was curious if it would still give me the arrows or not.
Right.
Yeah, I had the same thought.
I guess we got to pull up the customizer and find out.
Oh, I don't know. Pendant Pod's always tempting. Like, after Hype Cave, I was about to go that way, and then I was like, I've got Flute. I'll go do Big Game. And then if I feel like doing that, I'll Flute there. If not, I'll go to Village. And and the reason I did it after Swamp, I really wanted to turn in Green Pendant then and there and find out what it was. So I figured may as well just do Pod while I'm at it.
Well, again, GG's GFE, you have advanced. TJ, really, really strong showing in this tournament, though, and you've got to be proud of getting this far in the tournament, man. That very, very good performance by you.
Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it. This is the last race on the schedule for this evening. But tomorrow, the Link to the Past Randomizer Tournament of 2021 gets started at 12:10 Eastern Time with Asazas versus Andy right here on SpeedGaming 3. Then at 6:10 p.m. you will have Killer App 23 versus Kappa on SpeedGaming 2. And then at 8:40 p.m. Fear Agent versus Zelgadison on SpeedGaming 2. All that coming at you tomorrow with the possibility of more restreams. There are a couple other races scheduled for tomorrow that may happen, but that is going to be it for us this evening. As always, follow the runners here, putting in hard work for your entertainment. Shout outs to our tracker SiriUX for keeping us all honest during this, and shout outs to my co-commentator Homemade Beer. This evening has been a great race. Glad to commentate it with you. I will provide the last words to everyone else. This is Phantom Ryu signing off. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.